A new world has risen from the sea in Dubai. A world set at the crescent of the Palm Jumeirah, an island featuring 17 palm fronds that reach nearly 6 kilometers into the Arabian Gulf. It is a world where myth and history are woven together into a world-class resort experience. However, this world is not one that was born in ancient times. It is the brainchild of world-renowned developer and hotelier Sol Kerzner and Kerzner International. It has come to life today through the diligent work of thousands. The creation is called Atlantis the Palm. For millions of years, only the Arabian Gulf touched the shores of Dubai. However, in 2001, using the latest technology, land literally began rising from the sea. European companies who are experts in land reclamation were chosen by Nakheel to begin the creation of an island. Dredged from the floor of the Gulf, sand was sprayed through the air by the dredging ships. Arcing towards its final destination, the sand was actually guided by a differential global positioning system in a process known as rainbowing. In the shape of a date palm, the national plant of the United Arab Emirates, the island reaches almost 6 kilometers into the sea. On the outer edge of the island is a large circular breakwater that provides more than 11 kilometers of protection, reaching 50 meters below the surface of the sea and 3 meters above sea level. Each of the 7 million tons of rocks that comprise the breakwater were placed by cranes as precisely as was the sand. The process of moving the bottom of the ocean to the top and into the shape of a gigantic date palm took years. But even as the last grains of sand had fallen from the air, the island was not ready to be built upon. To ensure the lasting stability of the creation, a procedure known as vibro-compaction was introduced. For 5 months, sets of steel probes that could reach as deep as 21 meters pounded away at the sand. Finally, the compaction was complete. Still, however, there was another step before building could begin. Pilings were driven into the land where Atlantis the Palm would rise. The decision was made to drive the pilings all the way to bedrock, in some cases 25 meters below ground level. It was a decision that would ensure a steadfast and secure future for the resort on an island that was already being proclaimed by some as the 8th wonder of the world.
That very fine line that you've got there.
Yeah.
And where does the water come? And then what happens?
At the same time as the island was being created, the vision of Sol Kerzner was being painstakingly laid to paper in sketches, renderings and blueprints by world-renowned architects and designers from around the globe. The talents of Jeffrey Beers, David Rockwell, Adam Tahani, Wilson & Associates, Wimberley, Allison, Tong and Gu and EDSA collaborated in facing an enormous challenge. They were to base the resort on the myth of Atlantis and at the same time incorporate the flavor of traditional Arabic design themes. Atlantis Paradise Island in the Bahamas was already established as an iconic resort. So Atlantis the Palm needed to maintain some of the epic design elements of its forerunner, yet create a new experience as well. Countless meetings took place, calling for countless hours of work. Through the process, Sol Kerzner was always the driving force. Finally, the plans were in place and were handed off to Jim Booker, president of Kerzner Development, to bring the vision to life.
The hole where the Chihuli's going to sit, those are the whale tails you're going to look at next month.
A labor force was put together that, at peak, numbered more than 9,300. It would be these men and women who would build Atlantis the Palm from the ground up. These workers would set 58,000 kilometers of steel, more than 9 times the length of the Great Wall of China. They would lay more than 2,250 metric tons of marble and stone. They would install more than 100,000 lights and plant more than 60,000 trees and shrubs using the world's latest construction equipment. At one point, 15 tower cranes and 7 mobile cranes were in a choreographed dance at the same time. In all, the workers would create one of the world's most spectacular resorts, with a footprint of more than 460,000 square meters. Centering the property are the Royal Towers, featuring more than 1,500 rooms and suites. 3 of the suites provide experiences that are unmatched in the world. There is the Bridge Suite, which spans the towers and offers breathtaking views of the azure waters of the Palm Jumeirah and the Arabian Gulf. The resort also offers 2 Lost Chambers suites. The views from the bedroom and master bathroom each look directly into the depths of the Ambassador Lagoon, teeming with sea life. The splendor of Atlantis can also be enjoyed with a stay in any one of the more than 1,300 other rooms and suites. Throughout the resort, guests are offered exceptional service. The choice continues with guest rooms offering double, queen or king-sized beds, all with water views, either the azure waters of the Palm Jumeirah or the Arabian Gulf. The experience can be as lavish as you choose. From the moment you set foot in the grand lobby, a breathtaking experience of myth and reality begins. The artistry of Atlantis the Palm greets guests as they arrive. Upon entry into the grand lobby, they are met by the spectacular work of Dale Chihuly and Albino Gonzalez. Chihuly, a world-renowned artist from Seattle, Washington, who works in glass, has graced the property with a sculpture that rises 9 meters into the air. More than 3,000 pieces of blown glass were woven together over 2 years.
They go up about 8 or 9 feet, and they come all the way down to the reflecting pool. This is plexiglass here, but in reality, it'll be a reflecting pool. And we wanted to bring them down low so that kids could get a good look at the sea life pieces. This is, totally unique idea for us. And the piece will sit just above the water.
The sculpture symbolizes the energy source of Atlantis. A fiery peak of red, yellow and orange is undergirded with greens and blues to form a spiraling centerpiece that inspires awe.
It's the Atlantis, and it's nautical, and it's Saul Kersner. So I wanted to make something that felt like the sea, with this great location of being right in the middle of the lobby. And I'm inspired a great deal by the architecture. Then you have to make models and make drawings, figure out what you want to do, and then you start blowing the glass. And when the glass is done, you put it together. This has 3,000 parts, and once it's put together in my studio, then we have the client come and look at it, and then we, if there are no changes, hopefully, we then take it apart and pack it, all 3,000 pieces in containers, ship it over here, and then my team unpacks it. So nobody ever handles the glass but us.
Towering 19 meters above the floor of the lobby is the work of Spanish artist Albino Gonzalez. Considered to be one of the world's foremost interpreters of ancient mythology, Gonzalez has used a kaleidoscope of color to create 8 murals that encircle the grand lobby. Through the use of Mesopotamian myths and legend, the murals bring to life the story of Atlantis. This story is about when the Arabians arrive in Spain after crossing the columns of Hercules, which is actually now known as the Spanish city of Cadiz. When they arrived, they thought they were in Atlantis. They then renamed the land as Al-Andalus, which may somehow relate to Atlantis. I then thought about this story. I questioned what element unites both the Western and Eastern cultures. And my belief is that the element which connects us all is the stars. From this, I fostered my interpretation of the myth of Atlantis for the resort in Dubai. The works of other artists bring a reality to the mythology that permeates Atlantis the Palm. Their works can be seen throughout the property. To provide the best marine habitat as a home for thousands of sea creatures, it was necessary to construct a facility that would hold millions of liters of water and could be home to hundreds of species. The challenges were numerous. The size of the Ambassador Lagoon was the first. With 11 million liters of water, it would be the largest open-air marine habitat in the Middle East and second only to Mother Nature. Another challenge was making sure there would be no leaks through the numerous public viewing panels, including one that stretches 10 meters high by 10 meters wide. The filling of the lagoon proved the design was watertight. There was the placement of Atlantean artifacts to make an exciting and mythical world come to life. There were hundreds of relics that were overtaken by the waters of the Arabian Gulf, as if submerged for thousands of years. There is a mythical courtyard where ambassadors and dignitaries from around the region met to discuss the politics of the day. Another challenge was creating a pumping system that would allow for a tremendous and timely exchange of water from the surrounding sea into the lagoon. Finally, the habitat was ready to be home to thousands of marine animals. The expert fish husbandry took great care in introducing them into their new home. There are more than 250 species of fish and sea creatures to be seen, including sharks, jellyfish, rays, eels, as well as multitudes of exotic fish. While the Ambassador Lagoon is a spectacular creation of how Atlantis may have appeared, it is also a window into the wonders of the ocean and the importance of conservation and preservation. This rich variety of marine life is managed by a team of more than 165 full-time marine specialists. The veterinarians, biologists, aquarists, divers, laboratory managers, food technicians, mechanics and curators tend to this delicate ecosystem from their renowned marine institutes and facilities across the globe. Excitement and adventure await every guest at Atlantis the Palm. On land, there are the Lost Chambers, a maze of underwater halls and tunnels that weave under and around the Ambassador Lagoon.
Every chamber has its own sage, and especially some martial arts and etc. So each room dictates what this sage was about, what his expertise was.
There are breathtaking underwater views of thousands of sea creatures and scenes of Atlantean life throughout the labyrinth of passageways. The chambers are filled with hundreds of artifacts from an advanced culture that mysteriously disappeared. The walls depict the art of the times. All tell an amazing story that is woven together by the creative minds at California-based designers Olio and displayed at Atlantis the Palm for all to see. Dolphin Bay provides guests with more than just a view of marine creatures. It provides interaction with one of the world's most charismatic animals. Set in a lush tropical atmosphere, this 26 million litre home for dolphins is the largest coastal habitat in the world. It's designed to help people foster a closer connection and appreciation for these animals, with an unbelievable experience which is fun, educational and conservation-minded at the same time. There are 3 vast lagoons where you can meet these graceful creatures through a choice of interactions. Whether you're a resort guest or visiting for the day, our dolphins offer an unforgettable once-in-a-lifetime experience. Guests have the opportunity to learn about dolphin behavior, physiology,